Hi, and welcome to Links Illustrated. Today we're at Willbrook Plantation in Litchfield, South Carolina. Just a short 20-minute ride from Myrtle Beach. And it's one of the most scenic golf courses in all of the Grand Strand area. Back in the 1800s, this property was a quail preserve. Willbrook is a gorgeous golf course with the old oak trees with the Spanish moss, wetland areas, just a gorgeous environment to play golf. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show.
From Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, the golf capital of the world, welcome to Links Illustrated with your host, Hugh Royer.
We've reached the part of the show where we're going to talk about golf course management, okay? I've driven the ball in the 15th hole here and I've absolutely killed it, but I've driven it down here to where I've got 250 yards to this par 5, but I'm on a downslope. Too many people will get here, they'll take their 3-wood out and they'll try to hit it right over this wall you see right here, and what they'll end up doing is hitting it so low because it's on the downslope and they try to get it up, they'll back out of it, top it, hit it thin, it'll hit that wall and come screaming right back here at us. You know, even a hybrid, you know, sometimes they work better, it depends on the loft, but the safest thing to do in these situations, with it only being 250 yards to the hole, I'm gonna take a 5-iron, I'm gonna lay it up, and I'm gonna get it to where, because the pin's in the back of this green, I'm gonna get it to where I've got probably anywhere from 60 to 75 yards. So just take your time, take your medicine here. Don't try to do anything foolish. Put the ball in play, point A to point B, and then we can try to get to point C and try to see if we can't make a birdie or at least a par. Just take your 5-iron. You don't have to try to kill it. You're not trying to do anything special. Just nice and smooth and right up the fairway. Remember, take your medicine. You don't have to try to be the hero, because I promise you, the more pars you make, the better you play. Well, here at the 5th hole, one of the signature holes here at Willbrook Plantation, I've hooked it off the tee. I missed the fairway. Well, I've put myself in a predicament that, you know, all of us who've played golf have been in more than once. I've got the trees are obviously dead in line with me and the flag. I can't even see the flag unless I move and look through the trees. I've got to go over the lake. The pin's in the back left of the green. I've got to be able to hook it in here. So I've got to hit a big swinging hook of about 25 to 30 yards. I've got 177 yards and I've got a 6-iron. And being able to turn this thing, because I've got to go under these limbs and the Spanish moss and the gorgeous beauty of this tree, even though it is kind of a pain right now trying to get this ball in the green. So I'm going to go in and try to hit a big swinging hook here, and to do so, I'm going to strengthen my grip. I'm going to turn my left hand over a little bit stronger so I can see basically 3 knuckles, and then my right hand is going to be more underneath. The more standard neutral grip is going to look pretty much like so, and I'm going to take it and turn it over and turn my hand under, and I'm going to close the face slightly. I'm going to aim to the right, where I'm almost in a closed stance where you can see my left foot is well behind my right foot. This is going to allow me to bring the club more to the inside, and as I come through, because I have to keep it low and I'm going to try to drive this ball, I've got to feel like my right side covers so that I can get that club moving out and around to create the hook spin that I'm looking for. Come on. Keep turning. All right, as you can see, by setting up close, strengthening my grip, So my grip's stronger and I've closed the club face. By setting up with my right foot behind me, it allows me to bring the club more to the inside so that I can come from the inside and get the ball to turn from right to left. The key here is not to pull up and back trying to make the ball hook, trying to improvise and create something, because when you do, you see when this goes up, the club comes up and in as well. It's just natural. If this moves this way, your arm is going to go as well. So when you come down, stay on top, allow your right side to cover that ball and keep moving through, and so you can turn the ball from right to left and hopefully get it on the green.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by teeuptomorrow.com. Log on today and tee up tomorrow.
We're here at the 6th hole, par 3, beautiful golf hole. As you can see, the green is basically an island green. It's surrounded by the pond. It goes all the way around. It's playing 140 yards. I hit my 8-iron around 150 to 155 yards, but the wind is slightly into me and the pin is in the back of the green, so I don't want to hit anything real hard to try to get it back there, because if I don't get it to the flag, it's going to hit and spin back. So I'm going to basically hit this nice and smooth, basically a 3/4 8-iron to try to put it back there somewhere around the flag. The one thing I would like to say is, if it's allowed by where the tees are set up for you, set up on the side of the tee that opens the green up. As you can see, we've set up somewhat to the right side of this tee, and it's opened the green up in the shot to that flag, which basically you feel like you've got a lot more room. So now I'm going to stand up here and try to hit this nice and smooth and see what we can do. And there it is, right back there by the flag, nice and smooth, nothing drastic, nothing violent, just a good solid stock 8-iron, and we've probably got about 12 to 15 feet. So remember, when you have a pin that's in the back of the green like that, you don't want to try to force the issue by hitting something hard. That brings too many bad variables into the equation. So nice and smooth, trust your yardage, and you should hit a good shot. Well, we're going to have a little fun with this one. We've gotten in the bunker here on 18. We're going to hit several different type bunker shots. I want you to understand it's not one-dimensional when you're in a bunker. You can use several different golf clubs, several different techniques, though the basic fundamentals will be the same. We've got a shot here from this bunker short of the green. It's some 25 to 30 yards. I've got my 58-degree wedge, so I'm going to try to get in here and set up to where my feet are going to be wide. My knees are going to be wide, so my knees are over my shoelaces, not knock-kneed in here like this, because that's going to tend to make me want to back out of the shot. The one thing about these longer bunker shots, don't try to pick the ball. The reason a bunker shot's the easiest shot in golf is it's the only one you never have to hit the ball. So what we want to do is set up, open the face of the club, lean left. You can see how my weight is about 60-40 on my left foot. I want to feel like all my weight, like I'm literally just standing on my left leg. And what I'm going to do going back, I'm going to hinge the club and get it up soon, early in the swing, so that I can come down more vertical and the club can bounce, utilizing the 10 degrees of bounce on the bottom of this Nike wedge. So with that being said, I'm going to set up in here. I'm going to keep my lower body very stable, and I'm going to control the distance with the length and the length of the backswing and the speed of my arms. So you can see with a lob wedge how high that ball went in the air. So now what we're going to do, I want to show you the difference in hitting the lob wedge for such a long shot in comparison to using a less lofted wedge, more like your 54 degree or a 50, 51 degree gap wedge. Longer shots, you don't want to feel like you swing so hard because your body will move too much and your consistent angle of attack and your contact with the sand will vary, and that's just a no-no. We don't want that to happen. So when you set up here, you're going to set up again with your feet wide, weight left, about 60-40, and you can see I've got the club face open, but what I'm going to do is going to get steep, and then I'm going to come through, and with the less loft on this wedge, the ball will come out a little lower and it will travel further. And you can see, not near big a swing, not near as violent and hard, because with less loft, you don't have to swing as hard. So remember, keep your lower body steady, hinge the club soon, and swing your arms through, allowing that bounce to do the work for you.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by MyrtleBeachGolf.com. Golfer's #1 resource for everything Myrtle Beach Golf.
When you're warming up to get ready to go play, the main thing that you need to do is start out slow, swing extremely smooth, allow yourself a chance to develop some rhythm. Too many people get to the golf course, rush around, worried about getting something to eat, worried about something to drink, and then they come running out here, they grab their 5-iron or their driver and they just start whacking away. The key to golf is creating a very proper and consistent tempo in your golf swing. If you're quick and fast, it's useless. You're wasting your time, you're going to be miserable. When you come out to warm up, obviously stretch. Give yourself ample time to stretch, a chance to get all your joints and everything loose. You can do some stretching by taking a club and put it in your arm, in your hand, extend your arm and just twist it like this. You can do it in both hands just for 30 seconds or so, just to give it a chance to get loose. You'll feel the joints pop if you're as old as I am. And then you can do some other things like you've seen people do where they spread and they do a basic pivot drill with wide legs to try to stretch their back. That's a huge thing to help you relax and get more into a rhythm to where when you hit a golf ball, you don't look like you're chopping wood or trying to attack a snake. When we set up here, I've got a sand wedge that I'm starting with. You can start with an L wedge, it really doesn't matter. But it's just something to make some nice, smooth, rhythmic swings, to develop some timing, to allow you to get stretched out, and to give you the chance to know exactly which way the ball's going to go. So as you get loose with the sand wedge, grab a 7-iron, an 8-iron, 9-iron, whatever you want to do. I know when I was on the tour, I used to basically start on Mondays with odd clubs. Tuesdays would be the even clubs, and so on and so forth. So I mean, I would start out with a lob wedge, then go to a 9-iron, 7-iron, 5, so on and so forth, and then obviously do the same with the even numbered clubs. So here I've got a 9-iron, and I'm just going to try to make very smooth, rhythmic swings so that my body can turn together, my hands aren't snatching the club away, I'm not in a hurry. It's one of those deals that you've got to take your time to be able to enjoy what you're doing. So as I set up here, you're going to see it's just going to be a nice rhythmic swing and a solid shot. So once you hit a couple of these, you get nice and loose, you start to feel some rhythm, then you can kind of relax and start thinking about how you want to play today. So it's a matter of not getting here and so quick and jerky and running like crazy, because it's going to carry over into everything you do and it's going to make your day miserable. And you're out here to play golf to have fun, I hope. So, you know, unless you're playing for millions of dollars on the tour where the pressure is kind of tough, you know, when you're out here, have fun with your friends, enjoy yourself, get a good rhythm, so when you get on the golf course, it's going to get a little faster, but if you start out slow and smooth here, it'll stay that way when you get to the golf course. and then you can progress on up to your 7-iron. And as you get to this club, try to feel like you hit a couple that are straight. You hit your natural shot, whether it's a fade or a draw, and then try to hit a couple of the others that are kind of the opposite of what's comfortable, and then you should be ready to go. But just nice and smooth. Remember, 1, 2. If you do this, it should make your day on the golf course a lot more enjoyable. Well, now I'm going to throw you a curveball. I've gone from the total other side of the over here into the back bunker. As you can see, even though it's slight slope in this bunker, it's relatively flat. There's about 10 to 12 feet of fringe, and then the green, and there's another 80, 85 feet to the flag. So what I'm going to do here is, I'm not going to take my sand wedge or my lob wedge and try to carry the ball halfway down the green or all the way to the flag. I've actually taken a 9-iron, and I'm going to try to hit a blast shot, just like I would a normal bunker shot, but I'm going to try to get it on the ground and rolling more. So with much less loft in a 9-iron, it's going to become more like a bump and run, chip and run type shot, so I can get it on the green as soon as possible and try to get it rolling down towards that flag. The one thing you've got to remember when you hit this shot, because of the loft in the club, there's not as much bounce. You have to aim further to the left because the ball is going to tend to shoot out to the right simply because it's not designed so-called for a blast bunker shot. But with the right technique, this club can work wonderfully for such a long bunker shot. You don't have to worry about hitting it fat. You don't have to worry about sculling it over the green. You can go ahead and just hit the sand, blast it, and let the ball just kind of shoot out and start rolling right down the green. So set up with your weight just like the other bunker shot, but you want to aim probably another 5 to 8 yards left of where you normally would. Set up, open the face of the club. Your weight left 60-40. Your legs are going to stay extremely stable, and what you're going to do is you're going to set and you're going to come down and hit this thing. Wow, I'll take that and run. Golf is not one-dimensional. You've got to learn to use your imagination. Try different things. If they work, great. If they don't, well, you know what? You shelve them and you move on to something else. But this game can be played so many different ways with so many different clubs and situations. Don't get so closed-minded that you've got to use a sand wedge every time out of a bunker. Try this. It works pretty well. So today, for a tip that we're going to give, it's very simple. A lot of people come down here from the north and really struggle with Bermuda grass. It's more of a masculine grass. It's a little tougher, a little more bristly, and it has grain in it. You start talking about grain, and the folks from up north, they kind of look at you like, you know, what in the world are you talking about? Most Bermuda grass will grow towards the setting sun. The easiest way to tell that, you look at the hole to find out where the burnt edge of the hole is. If you're putting at a hole and the left-hand side of the hole is worn out, brown, looks like it's burned out, that's where the grain is going. So your ball, if you're coming from this direction and it's burned out right over here on the left, that ball is going to work from right to left. That's the easiest way. Now when you play early in the morning, it's a little more difficult simply because everything is newly cut and the holes are newly cut. Also, with a lot of the new strains of Bermuda grass, the hybrids that are out now, like here at Willbrook, they have the Champions Bermuda, and it is a fantastic surface. You can cut it down as low as you want. It stays healthy. You can get them as fast. I mean, they can be as fast as anywhere from 10.5 to 11.5 on the stimp meter. So it's a really good putting surface. But the thing is, the grain grows differently in these new hybrid ultra dwarf grasses. So the thing that you need to pay attention to is slope and runoff for water. So if you see here on the green, you can see how we have this slope going here and the water runs down here to the right towards the lake over here. And that's where the grain's going to tend to go because that's where the water is running. Pay attention to slope and where you think water will be running off, and also look at the hole to find out where the burnt edge is. It will help you tremendously. Always check the grain on Bermuda grass. If you don't understand the grain, always look to where the setting sun is to the southwest, look for runoff for water, and look at the hole and look for the burned out edge. That's the way the ball will tend to break, is toward that burned out spot.
Links Illustrated is brought to you in part by the Waccamaw Golf Trail. 12 spectacular golf courses designed by the world's most celebrated architects. Located just south of Myrtle Beach, the Waccamaw Golf Trail is a journey through historic plantations, natural beauty, and southern hospitality.
Well, I hope you enjoyed Willbrook Plantation as much as I have. It's a beautiful golf course and a great test. I hope some of the tips that we gave you today will help you with your golf game to lower your scores as well as your handicap. So until next time, we'll see you right here on Links Illustrated.